When we face tasks that have been sidelined, we often fall into a strange cycle. We know the work is there, but our brains feel like they are being rubbed by sandpaper, producing a sense of restless anxiety. This state is what we usually call procrastination, but in its essence, it is simply our brain creating an overprotective defense against the unknown. To break this deadlock, we need a strategy that is extremely simple and possesses physical momentum. This is what we call the minimum action method. The logic of this method is very direct. It does not require us to summon immense willpower. Instead, it asks us to find the absolute first step. When we face a daunting task and feel a sense of internal resistance, we can try to narrow our vision. Narrow it until we only see the first 1%. We don't need to think about future progress, nor do we need to worry about the quality of the outcome. We only need to ask ourselves, in this very minute, what is the easiest point to step on? Even if this action is just opening a blank file on the computer or clearing the clutter off the desk, as long as this step is concrete and effortless, we complete it first. Once the first step is defined, the key is to act on a moment of impulse. We often have a misconception that things must be planned perfectly before we start. But in reality, over-planning often becomes a new burden. A better way is to see clearly what is under our feet, prepare for the worst-case scenario, and then put our hands directly on the work, adjusting our direction based on the immediate feedback we receive. Why does this random start effectively get us moving? There are several psychological logics at play here. The first logic is piercing the paper tigers. Often, our fear of work comes from how we amplify unknown difficulties in our minds. It is like looking at shadows in a dark room. The shadow is always taller and more menacing than the object itself. But as soon as we take that first step and begin to engage with concrete problems, we realize those terrifying obstacles can be pierced with a single touch. They are never as insurmountable as we imagined. Fear is like a shadow behind us. When we stand still, staring at the empty ground, the shadow locks us in place. But once we start doing, our attention shifts from feeling to processing. When we are breaking down steps, searching for data, or typing words, the brain has no extra bandwidth to produce anxiety. In the process of action, we do not feel fear because we are busy dealing with the real world. If we do not act, the problem remains like a broken line of code stuck in our memory, consuming our limited mental energy. But through minimum action, we receive feedback rapidly. Regardless of whether the step is right or wrong, it provides us with new information. The more information we hold, the stronger our brain's sense of control over the environment. That vague, massive source of pressure becomes a series of technical problems that can be solved one by one. We need to understand, in this world, nothing can truly stop us from moving forward, except the clutter in our own minds. The next time we feel like turning away, do not try to fight the emotion. Instead, try to shrink our focus to that first 1% entry point. We don't need to look too far or think too deeply. We only need to let ourselves take that one step forward.